The Empire's just as corrupt as anyone else. This whole galaxy runs on kickbacks and favors, and the Empire's no different. You just have to be careful not to bribe the wrong Imperial, or you'll have to blast your way out. If you end up on the ISB's most wanted list, it's just a matter of time before they find you. There's no easy way to escape. The ISB have informants and agents everywhere. Those agents are true believers who will take you down with them. The biggest mistake you can make in this business is working with rebels. They have no credits, and no matter where they go, the Empire's right behind them. There's no chance that outfit will amount to anything. Akiva is fine, even if it's an old separatist world. It might get warm and humid, but at least everybody minds their own business. And best of all, the Empire's only there every fourth cycle. Mirror's great when it's not underwater. There are plenty of clients moving stock from there, and they keep a low profile. They're old-timers, just like myself, because rookies who make mistakes tend to disappear in the jungle. The Alcazar's starting to become my favorite watering hole this side of the core. I could say a thing or two about the owner, but it's a solid place to get information. In this business, you don't get very far without information. The Separatists have an advanced droid factory underneath Mirror that produces an impressive amount of droids. The broken ones are dropped in one end, and moments later, new and shiny ones come out the other, ready to be deployed in the field. When dealing with the Ashiga, you need to be aware that even though they don't have eyes, they can spot a liar a parsec away. They have highly developed senses for pheromones and vibrations. The moment you try to fool them, they'll cut you down without hesitation. The Ashiga are artists when it comes to gunsmithing, producing some of the finest blaster rifles in the galaxy. Their craft can make a fortune on the black market, but it's very difficult to get a hold of one. As always, the Ashiga want to keep everything to themselves. Crimson Dawn's an interesting syndicate. Dryden Voss enjoys dressing up and hosting elaborate parties, but he's got the temper of a blurg. He will not last long. When you reach the top, you need people you trust to have your back. A lot of inexperienced smugglers will ask me how to deal with bounty hunters, but the answer is very simple. Bounty hunters only care for credits, so unless you can outbid a crime lord, your best approach is to blast them and hope they didn't bring friends. Being a successful smuggler depends on how you handle your cargo. You need a ship with secret compartments, and usually you'll have to make them yourself. I'm proud to say that the Trailblazer is so good in this regard that even I can't find all of them anymore. People who think Vandor is cold have clearly not visited Kijimi. Even with the thermal systems around the city, the planet's barely habitable. Unless you have a steady supply of soup and gristmeal tea. If you ever have anything stolen, it is likely that it will eventually end up in the Thieves District on Kijimi. I must admit that I've fenced a fair amount of goods here myself. You cannot be in this trade without dealing with the Hutts. It's a fact of life. But you must make sure to stay on their good side. They have deep pockets, plenty of bounty hunters, and a nasty sadistic streak. I like Chalman's Cantina. It is a rough and tumble feel, but you have to remember to keep one eye on the blaster and one eye on the exit. You never want to find yourself cornered in a basement. My father used to work for Jabba and kept telling me that Jabba never forgets. My father ended up getting dragged back to Tatooine for owing him a few thousand credits. As far as I know, he's still down there in the Sarlacc pit. Mos Eisley gets a bad reputation for a good reason. Everyone is a scoundrel, including the Jawas, the droidsmiths, and even the water merchants. If that bothers you, you're in the wrong line of work. I always wondered, out of all the places in Hutt space, why Jabba set up shop on Tatooine. I think he just loves sitting in that palace, watching his subjects suffer in the desert. Most people think the Tusken are all one and the same. That's a big mistake, as there are many different tribes with their own cultures and values. So don't go out there assuming you know anything, because you probably don't. The water tax. What kind of monster would tax farmers on the one thing that sustains life on this cruel desert world? No one but Jabba would have that idea, even though it remains one of Tatooine's biggest mysteries what he uses it for. I was not surprised that the Clone War paved the way for the Empire. The galaxy was in pieces, and everyone wanted to be done with the war. I don't think they realized the price they paid. Maybe they never will. The Kessel Run is a real test for a pilot. Some pilots want to use precaution and stay within the regular 20 parsec route. But most pilots who end up successful in this business will at least pass through the corkscrew. The Pikes are an institution, and as long as you adapt to their ways, you'll find a moderate amount of success. Smugglers like us will always have a place in their plan. The key is to nod along and take the credits. Many smugglers who pass through Tashara make the mistake that Miragana is the center of commerce. Stay on Tashara long enough, you'll realize that the diner in Janta's Hope is a much more interesting venue. The speakeasy downstairs has Imperials and criminals alike doing business far away from the Pikes in Miragana. It is commonly thought that Canto Bight has the best sabacc tables, but you should not underestimate McCall's in Miragana. I recently partnered up with a Galushan card counter named Bosnak. And together we made nearly 10,000 credits in one night. You will not see that type of action at the Daystar Casino. Miragana's changed over the years, and every time I visit, it seems that the Empire is pulling back and the Pikes are taking over. But you must look beyond the streets and territories. As long as the Empire holds the spaceport, they're in charge. There is no place quite like Tashara. You have the Pikes and the Empire side by side, and for a small cut, you can get an Imperial certificate for almost anything. It's not always worth it, but sometimes you need to get goods off your hands. Hello. This is Jet Kordo. It's almost time to do this job, but first we need some precautions. That thing you're holding is a holotracker. Trade League members, such as myself, use them to find vaults to store contraband. But I've taken a couple of those vaults off the grid. No one's gonna find them, but us. Just don't lose that holotracker and the discs. Because we don't want anyone else to find these vaults and take the score. I have spoken.
Jet, are you here? My sensors... What are you doing? Jet? Who is that on the ground?
Ion, I need you to remain calm. Dorhalt sold us out, so I had to take care of some things.
What did you do?
Dorhalt betrayed us, and I can prove it. He put the whole crew and the heist itself at risk. We need to go to the backup vault. I will prove it to you.
I had a great time in Narshada. You really know how to host. Showed a guy a good time. I'm just confirming the deal is still on. Kordo's gonna hit the palace tonight, so be ready. Oh, and keep a clean perimeter watch. He's got a hunter outside with killer aim. I'm looking forward to doing more business with you. I'll send you the coordinates to another vault here on Akiva. You can contact me there.
Ion, the recording was here. Must have been in the other vault.
Jet, this is a serious accusation. We had Dorhal vetted.
I am positive. Dorhal has been in contact with the Hutts and gave them information about our plans. It is the only explanation for how the Hutts knew we were coming. Dorhal told them everything.
Are you alright, Jet? Your biometrics appear unstable.
I am fine. You must go to the other vault here on Akiva and listen to the recording. I will visit Rata and resolve that matter.
Ion, this is Jet Kordo. I'm leaving you a message in case you are wondering where we are. Rata claims that she was followed and that this location is compromised. We are moving to the other vault for safety. Be careful, and don't trust anyone.
No, Rata, you are not getting Doral's cut.
Hey, I did my part.
Not particularly well.
Christ's sake, Jet. I told you, they moved security inside. I couldn't get a shot.
You're a professional bounty hunter, but you couldn't land a single shot. Makes me wonder if you and Dorhal...
Hey, I took those goons off your back when you escaped. I'm in this as much as you.
Jet, she's correct. If it wasn't for Rather, you would have gotten caught.
And that was her fault to begin with.
Fine, I'm leaving. But don't come to me when you need a crew, Jet, because I'm never working with you again.
Ace, please tell me you've got some good news.
Jet, I'm back here.
What happened to you?
That Dawson Rodian didn't have my back. Had to handle the Hutts myself.
Neist, let me assess your injuries.
It's fine. Just give me my cut and I'm out.
Are you saying you didn't bring anything with you?
You kidding me now, Kordo? Does it look like I could have carried anything here? I'm lucky I got out at all.
You don't have any idea what I did to plan this job. If you think that I'm giving you a single credit...
Jet, please, stop!
Ion, can you stand? No, this is not good. Come here. I'll help you out of here. Ion, this is Jet Kordo. Though I suspect you can't hear me anymore. I never meant for this to happen. The crew betrayed me, and it didn't leave me much of a choice. I guess it's true that this job is not meant for friends. It's a lot easier to split the credits when it's just yourself. There's nothing I can do for you now, Ion. I have to disappear and leave the Trailblazer behind. I just need you to know that everything I did was with the best intentions. I suppose I just worked best alone.